Hey guys, so in today's video I'm going to be doing a Goodnotes 5 walkthrough. So I did this video a year ago, but they did include some new features and things that I thought I would update you guys on. And I feel like that one was very all over the place. Maybe I can attempt to do it better this time. So I have Goodnotes here. My workflow has really changed since I finished school. So I no longer use it as often as I used to because of not having to take notes and things like that. So yeah, it's really changed. But Goodnotes is really one of my favorite note-taking apps. After I was done with school, I find myself only using Goodnotes and not using Notability at all, really. I used to use Notability mostly for math, but now, I don't need it anymore. So yeah, Goodnotes has really stuck with me and I've really loved the interface and just how it works. It really is my favorite. So let's get started. As you can see, this is my Goodnotes setup here. I just have 3 folders here. This one was for school last year when I finished. This here is all my journals. It's not really like, it's just a few documents that my most used documents actually in there. Random things, we'll get into that later, and others just random documents that you just pile up and don't really have a specific category, so I just put them in there if I need them again. So I'll share with you guys in this video like the basic layout of Goodnotes and the tools you have and how to create a note, whatever like that, all the basics. And I'm also going to share with you guys a few like scenarios of how I used Goodnotes for different school subjects and what I mostly use it for now, as someone who's no longer in school, but I still love using it. So I'll have timestamps you'll see on the timeline of your video. If you want to skip to a certain part, if something's more relevant to you, I'll have that in the timestamps and in the description as well. Okay, so let's start with the basics. So this is the organization system you have in Goodnotes. You have folders, and within each folder you have different files. So yeah, that's the basic layout. It's nothing too complicated, just folders and files, pretty self-explanatory. And then creating a new file on Goodnotes is also really easy. So you just click on this new option up here, and then you have all your different types of things. So a notebook has a cover and then the pages within it. So that's the difference between a notebook and, for instance, a quick note, which doesn't have a cover. It's just quickly making a note. So it just chooses a random paper and makes you use it. Then we also have just creating a new folder, importing an image, scanning a document, taking a photo, and then importing. So you just import from files, and then you can just import whichever file you want to like write in, whatever. And then we have quick note, like I just showed you guys, but you can also just double tap this plus button and it will make a quick note for you if you want to make it quickly. So yeah, that's also really nice. Here are a few settings here that I'm quickly gonna go through. So notebook templates is actually the main thing I want to talk to you guys about. So you can import custom files, like custom paper templates, into Goodnotes. So for instance, if you have a certain type of paper you like and you can't find it in the Goodnotes library, I guess, you can import them from files. So if you have I know there are a lot of people who make custom notebook templates, and then you can just import them here and choose from files and then just import them into your notebook templates. So it'll always be here when you're creating a new notebook. You can just use your custom ones. You don't have to re-import them every single time. They will just be lying wherever you have them. You can also import, like for instance, custom covers. So usually, let me just switch the size here. I'm going to get into this layout a bit more when we're creating a notebook. You'll see here are some of the things I already have, some of my templates. So I have this one here, which is just a notebook, and this one, which is kind of like a weekly view for your week that you can do. So those are the templates that I have. I also have some cover templates, I believe. So for instance, when I was doing a lot of biology notes, I have a few here. These, again, I lost, but this one here is just an example of like a custom cover that I made that you can just easily reuse. But that's how you import custom templates into Goodnotes, if you're wondering. Then other settings that I feel like are important, if we go in here to settings, you can easily back up your notes with iCloud, or you can email your Goodnotes files to a Goodnotes email address, and it will be saved there for like 30 days and you can download it. It's really nice, and you can just do automatic backups and things like that. So there are a few useful settings in here you can play around with. But okay, let's start with creating a file. So I'm just going to click on new here and select notebook, and then we have our layout here. So You can choose your paper size here. So you have Goodnotes standard, you have all the A4, A5 sizes, you have letter size, and then tabloid. My favorite, I feel like, is the letter, or just like Goodnotes standard. I like having it like that. You can also choose whether your things have to be landscape or portrait, so you can choose that as well. Oh, here you can see some of my custom ones. I had it in portrait, I forgot. So here you can see some of my custom papers or templates that I have installed here. I'm not sure where I downloaded it from. I'll try to find it. I'll leave it in the description box below for you guys if you want to download it as well. I'll see if I can find the creator of these. So these are just ones that I downloaded and added to my library by going into the settings options here. So yeah, you can choose your layout, landscape, or portrait. You can also choose your language. So this helps with searching for notes as well as converting your text or your handwriting to text when you have like a specific language set. They don't have a lot, but maybe one of them is helpful for you. So yeah, that's the basics of it. You just create a new note. You just choose your style that you want. I'm gonna go with a blank dark one, and then obviously you have your cover here as well. You can see some of my custom covers here as well that I made a long time ago. Yeah, so you just choose some of the covers, the one that you really like. I'm just gonna go with one that they give us here. Okay, and then you can also title your notebook. So I'm just gonna title it Test because this is a test video. And then we're gonna select create. Okay, so now we're gonna go into the note itself. So as you can see, I don't have any lines on here. I wanna easily be able to show you guys like what I'm doing and where I'm touching. So now for actually options within the notes, we're gonna start off with our pen options. So this is your pen tool. Let me just pen. This is your pen tool. You have different colors and different sizes that you can choose from. So the colors, you can make custom ones. You can use the color wheel to create ones. I usually change these based on a certain month that I'm in. I'll show you guys later what I mean by that. So yeah, you just have these ones, and you can have 3 custom defaults. So for instance, if I use the colors black, white, and let's say this bluish color a lot, I can easily just switch between them. I don't have to go into the menu every single time. And then you can also have custom sizes. So if there's a size for your headings and a size for your text or your body of your text, and the size for annotations, you can have different sizes for that. So those are all really nice. So for our pen tool, we have 3 different pens here. We have a fountain pen, a ball pen, and a brush pen. Now the fountain pen and the brush pen have pressure sensitivity, so how hard you push down, how thicker the line gets, and you can also choose how sharp your tip has to be. So it's very customizable if you're using these. I'm not sure, like I never use this, the brush pen or the fountain pen. I usually stick with the ball pen. I just feel like my handwriting looks neater with it. So let me just quickly show you guys. So this is the fountain pen. So you can see it's pressure sensitive. And this is the ball pen. It's just one single thickness. And then the brush pen. Okay, so those are the 3 different pens you have. And also some settings you have within the pen tool here is this option here which says draw and hold. So draw and hold basically allows you to make quick shapes. So for instance, if I just make a circle and I hold down, it snaps into a circle shape and not just this wonky circle that I'm drawing. So yeah, you just have to hold, and then it snaps into a shape. So square. Can also tap on it and adjust like the edges and whatnot, the size and whatnot. So that's really nice. In the past with Goodnotes, why I preferred Notability was because you had to switch to the shape tool, which is this one here, in order to actually create a shape. You couldn't just hold down and it snaps into a shape, which I really like about Notability, or liked. But now they did make this option, which is really nice because it just saves a lot of time and not having to switch to the shaped tool every single time. You also have the option for stylus and palm rejection. I don't know why you would turn that off unless you really want to annoy someone when they're writing. But yeah, I just recommend just keep it on, I guess. I don't really know. I don't really mess with that ever. Then we have our eraser here. With the eraser, you have 3 default settings here, so just a small, medium, and large. You can sadly not like adjust how big, medium, or small it can be. Then also you have a few settings here, so erase entire stroke. I'm just going to quickly make like lines here. So erase entire stroke, when that's turned on, when you go over it with the eraser, it erases the entire stroke. But if you turn that off, it only erases a part of that stroke. So you can determine like how much you want to erase from a stroke. I usually keep this on, it's just quicker when you're writing. Then we have the option for erase highlighter only, so I'm going to turn that on real quick. So I'm going to get into the highlighter just in a minute, but if I have a highlighter here and I have some text here and the text is like underneath the highlighter or whatnot, you can actually like just turn on erase highlighter only, so you don't have to worry about losing your text as well. From your pen tool, you'll only lose the highlighted part, which is really nice, I feel like. So that's really helpful. Auto deselect is automatically switching to your pen tool after it's sensed that you're done erasing. So for instance, again, just gonna make a few writing pieces here. So when I have my eraser selected, I hold down, I erase whatever I need to erase, and when I lift up, it switches back to the pen tool. So it just quickly switches, and it's really helpful just to quickly switch between pen and eraser. Okay, so next we have the highlighter tool here. With the highlighter tool, we have like the same options as the pen. So you have your color tool here, and then also your sizes that you want. And again, like the pen, you can choose 3 different defaults. And then also you can choose 3 different default sizes. We also have a few settings here with the highlighter tool. So, well, the one actual useful setting is draw in straight line. So you can turn that off or on. But basically, it just, if you draw a line, it snaps into a perfectly straight line. And if you turn it off, you can just like have how much of a squiggly line as you want. But I find it's very helpful just to have that on, especially when you're like highlighting text or something. So that's a really nice option that they do have with the highlighter. Next up, we have the shape tool here. I'm running out of space to write, but here we have a few settings as well. So again, like with the pen tool, you can choose your colors and your sizes. These are usually just the same as your pen tool. So as you can see, if I switch to the pen tool and then to shape tool, it's this exact same defaults. But what the shape tool really helps with is if you just want to make shapes the entire time. So you don't have to hold down for it to snap into a shape. You can just keep on drawing multiple shapes and it will automatically just snap. For the settings for the shape tool, we have require hold to snap. I feel like when you're in the shape tool, it's not necessary to have that setting on because you automatically want it to snap into the shape. That's why you're in the shape tool. So I feel like that setting is kind of unnecessary because you can just use the pen tool then. But if it's something that helps you, you can have that on. And you also have snap to other shapes. We also have fill color here, so you can choose whether you want it to fill with color when you're making the shape. So if I make a circle, as you can see, it does have like a little fill inside it. So that's really nice as well if you're someone who likes that with your shapes. But that's all very basic things for the shape tool. But also I would just usually just use the pen tool and then just hold down for it to snap. I feel like that's just something I like more, but whatever works for you. Then we have my favorite thing here, which is the Lasso Tool. So this is one I use most often. So I'm just gonna scribble a few things here again to show you guys like how it works and everything. So the Lasso Tool is, you know, just a lasso tool. You can just surround something, then you can move it around wherever you want on your notes. It's really easy to use, and you also have a few options when you tap on your selection. So you have take screenshot, so it's going to just save this to your photos, so you can have that, or you can select add elements. So I'm going to get into the stickers area in a bit later, or I guess it's the elements area, but if you click on add element, it'll open up all your elements that you have, and you can also make a new collection for your elements. Again, I'm going to get into that a little later so you'll understand it a bit more, but you can add it to your elements and then you can reuse it over and over again. So if I make a new collection and call this, I'm just going to call it that and create. So now when I go to my elements area here, which is this area here, just tap on that and then you'll see you have different categories here. I'm just going to go to this one, and now I can recreate or reuse this over and over again. I don't have to worry about losing it or redrawing it every single time. It's going to automatically just be here. So I really like that. Other options we have with the lasso tool is resizing, so you can just move it around, rotate it, resize it. You can also change the color of the thing you've selected, which also is very helpful to save time. You can convert it to text if you want to. That's another option. And then you just have the usual cut, copy, or delete options for your text. So all this is really helpful, and just the lasso tool is probably one of the most helpful things to save time when taking notes in Goodnotes. Now we're gonna get to the elements tool. I'm running out of space here for the annotation, so I'm just gonna stop now. But here we have our elements. I have a few here, so these are ones that I have created. I get these, I'm not sure what her name is on YouTube. I'll have her in the link in the description box below, but she has a bunch of free download things that she makes on her channel that you can save and use in Goodnotes. I'm gonna get to another one of her things in a little bit, but you have some custom ones that Goodnotes gives. So these are all Goodnotes original ones that you can use, which are all really nice that you already have these if you don't want to make your own. They have a few cute ones here. These are probably some of my favorites. And then, like I said, you can make your own custom collection. Creating a new collection, you just have to click on this plus button here, title it, and then import your photos that you want for elements from your Photos app or from files. I really love that they added this. This is actually a new thing. It wasn't here like a year ago. I don't know. It's been out for a few months, I think, maybe a month or two. But this is probably one of my favorite things that they've added to Goodnotes. It's just so quick to get what you need. And you can also click here on this icon here, and then it opens stickies here at the side. You can just make it smaller a bit, and then you can easily drag and drop stickies to your notes. So all this is really nice and convenient in Goodnotes. Then we have our photos tool here, which is just to add photos in your note. So photos, you'll have a preview here, or you can just tap anywhere and it will open up your photo library. And when I add a photo, so let me just find a photo to add. So this is just a random photo that I have here. But now the few options that you have when tapping on your photo, you can crop it. So for instance, you have two ways to crop it. You have rectangle, so just drag the edges to how big you want it to be, or you have freehand where you can just like draw what you want. And then when you click done, it's gonna just have that part. It looks a little wonky, but you get the gist of it. You can also click share and then just share it to wherever and delete. You can also select add element. So by clicking on add element, again, it's gonna add it to one of your sticky collections. And you can also resize it at the edges here. So I can resize it like this or like this if I want to, or just have the whole thing resize, and then you have this cross here to delete it. So that's really easy and nice. And then there's text option. I'm not gonna go into text. It's pretty straightforward. All I wanna share with you guys is how to get custom text in, or custom fonts in Goodnotes. So you have fonts here that you can use. They have a bunch. I mean, there are so many they can use here. But also what you can do is, let me just show you guys. This app here called Any Font, where is it? This is a paid app, but it is very cheap, and it allows you to install custom fonts to your iPad. So for instance, I have all these fonts here, and if I want to import, say, a certain font, so you have to download it obviously first from like a website or whatever. I usually use thefont.com, and then save it to files, and then from files, save it into the Any Font app, and then in here, you just tap on the font that you just imported. So let me just choose this font down here, and then just click on install, allow, and then you have to go to settings, and you'll see profile downloaded, and then you just have to install, import your passcode, and click next and install, and then that font will be installed on your device, available in any app that uses fonts. It's really nice and convenient to have so many fonts available to you then, and in any app. So yeah, that's how I usually go about installing custom fonts into my iPad. And then we just have the laser here, which you can use when doing presentations or whatnot. You have two options for the laser. The one makes kind of lines, and the one's just one dot moving around. So that's not so important, but you have it. Now I just want to quickly share with you guys like a few scenarios, like I said, of how I used Goodnotes back when I was in school and just like now how I use it mostly. So this is a file here which is I just have a bunch of recipes in here. Again, you can see I have a lot of stickers here, and back when I made this, I didn't have the option for sticky, so you had to kind of like copy and paste it or re-import stickers every single time, but now I can just drag it in here. I just have like a title every single time. My text here I usually make with Procreate. I'll show you guys in a moment how I use Procreate and Goodnotes together, just to also save space on my iPad. I'll get into that bit later, but yeah, usually I just add like a few sticky note things, some text that I make in Procreate, and then just write out the recipes and maybe a photo of the recipe if I have one. So this is just how I like to do some things in Goodnotes. Then for school related things more, I have a few things to show you guys. So for math, I made a lot of like formula sheets and things in here. So I have just a few here from grade 12. Then I also did a lot of math practice in Goodnotes. So here you can just see how my notes look like for that. Very basic, I didn't do too much drawing of shapes or anything. Then for things like poetry, I usually imported the like poem that we were doing, highlighted on the photo that I imported with a poem on it, and then made a lot of annotations and things at the side, as you can see here. I did this for English and Afrikaans, which is my home language. So here you can just see a few examples of how I use Goodnotes in that way as well. And now what I mostly use Goodnotes for is making to-do lists and things like regularly. And then we also have like this thing that I made to the YouTuber before, where I get the stickers from. She also makes these cool diary things which you can fill out each month, add photos, and I just feel like it helps a lot, just like a creative outlet, and it's just a nice thing to have here. So you have your monthly layouts, and then you also have like weekly layouts here. Again, I'll have this video in the description box below. And she also has color charts here for each month. So for instance, for January, it was this pink and grayish color, and then she has the color codes here that you can just import here with custom, and then just fill it out here. Just type in the text, and then you'll have that custom color for that month. So this is what I mostly use Goodnotes for nowadays, and then just regular to-do lists and things like that. So this is what I do, if you're wondering. So just quickly to show you guys, with Procreate, when I'm making text that I want to use in Goodnotes, so for instance like a title or something, first thing I do is like write it out. So let me just choose like a color here, say this blue color. And my brush I usually use is either chalk or the brush pen option on Procreate, and then just write out my thing, my text. Also, something that really helps is when you go to settings here in Procreate and go to canvas, having the drawing guide on helps make like sure you're writing neatly and in a straight line. So that's what I usually have on as well. And I'm just going to quickly write something out here. So this is very basic. So what I either do is I remove the background, especially if I have multiple layers. I remove the background to make sure it's transparent. And then I just go to the settings option, select share, choose my format. Usually I go with PNG, and then I click copy. And then I go into Goodnotes and I just paste it. So then I have it here. This is just because I sometimes, like, if you do this multiple times a week, writing one word and then just saving it to your camera roll can get very messy and just all over the place. So just copying and pasting it into your Goodnotes and not saving it as a photo and then importing it just saves space on your iPad, I feel like. So this is what I do. Or you can just choose a single layer here, tap on it and select copy, and then go to Goodnotes and paste it. So that's just if you don't want to save it as a photo every single time and just directly put it into Goodnotes. So yeah, that's my walkthrough of Goodnotes. I hope this was helpful for you guys and you kind of like enjoyed seeing what I do and got some inspiration for some things you can do in Goodnotes. I really love this app. It is one of my favorite note-taking apps on iPad, like I've said, and I just recommend it a lot. If you did enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up and comment down below any other questions you might have for me regarding this. Definitely subscribe by clicking on the icon on the screen. Click on the playlist to see all of my other iPad related videos and click on the video to my previously uploaded video. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!